Sports Network.
It has come down to the final series of the year to decide who will win the American League East. The Yankees and the Orioles tied at the top of the East with 3 games remaining. The Yankees against the Red Sox and the Orioles down in St. Pete against the Rays. And the Yankees have some reinforcements. Mark Teixeira is back. It's time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the first of 3 from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton and David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Well, when you looked at the schedule at the beginning of the year, you saw Yankees-Red Sox final 3 games. You said, wow, that's going to be important. But you thought the Red Sox would be involved. They're trying to play spoilers. And the Yankees made this series even more important by winning yesterday. They lost on Saturday. The Orioles were winning on Sunday. And the Yankees were down 5-1. So it was time to put up or shut up.
Well, the Yankees did put up. The offense got it in gear in the latter stages of yesterday's game at the Rogers Center. A wild pitch helped them out. This is going to score Robinson Cano. The Yankees are on their way. In the 7th, it's Cano again. This time, a bullet down the right field line. A double scores Derek Jeter. A wild pitch will score Alex Rodriguez. The Yankees claw even closer. Then, Eduardo Nunez with a sacrifice fly scores Granderson. Jeter with a base hit. The Yankees pounded out 15 hits in yesterday's game and only 1 home run. That was their first run. A sustained rally won this ballgame.
All right, they need another win tonight. The New York Lottery pitching matchup has Clay Buchholz going for the Red Sox, 11-7, 4.22. And for the Yankees, it's CC Sabathia, 14-6, 3.42. And David CC of late has been pitching like the AC's supposed to be.
Yeah, indeed he has. After a little bit of concern about his elbow earlier this year and a leg injury even earlier, Sabathia back to dominating. That fastball, a little extra hop. And that slider, too, so good. You see those Ks to balks ratio. That tells me everything I need to know, that this guy's dominating. And the bite on his breaking stuff, so much better than previously. So these last 2 starts, Sabathia right where he needs to be. The Yankees loving that.
And the Yankees love the fact that Mark Teixeira is back in the lineup today. He's missed 30 of the last 31 games. Hasn't played since September 8th. When we come back, Ken Singleton will tell us how important Teixeira is. That's next on Yes. Baseball, and welcome back to Mark Teixeira. He's back in the lineup. He's played 120 games this season, 255 average, 23.81. He scored 65 runs. You see his on-base percentage. He's played just 1 game since August 27th with a strained calf. In fact, he's missed 30 of the last 31 games that the Yankees have played. That's Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. David Cohn will rejoin us in just a moment. The return of Teixeira is no small thing.
No small thing indeed, Michael. The fact is he's one of the best hitting first basemen in the league. He was leading the Yankees in runs batted in when he was injured. But Of course, he brings power from both sides of the plate. Lately, a lot of managers are starting righties and then going to lefties. They'll be more reluctant to do so with this type of power from the right-hand side in the Yankee lineup once again. Of course, defensively, Teixeira's in there at first base. He's a Gold Glove type first baseman. There's your double play, Mike. Innings over. That's what Teixeira can bring to a lineup.
The Yankees are hoping that he can stay healthy over these 3 games. CC Sabathia is glad that he's in the lineup, defense and offense. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next, right here on Yes. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, the most creative and fun restaurant on earth. Visit cheeseburger.com. By the professionals of your Tri-State GMC dealer. And by Atlantic City. Do anything, do everything. Do AC. Yankees against the Red Sox. There's a lot on the line for the Yankees. They are tied with the Orioles for the best record in the American League East. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup presented by Bank of America. Pedro Siriaco, the second baseman, leads off. Daniel Nava at left will bat second. Cody Ross in right bats third. Cleaning up, first baseman Mauro Gomez. Ryan Lavarnway, the DH, will hit fifth. Batting sixth and catching, Jared Saltalamacchia. Danny Valencia is going to play third base and bat seventh. Shea-Xuan Lin is going to be the center fielder. He'll bat eighth. And Jose Iglesias, the shortstop, will bat ninth. So Siriaco is ready. CC is ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is low, and we are underway.
Here are the numbers on CC Sabathia all the season. This will be his 28th start. 14-6, looking for win number 15. 190 strikeouts in 192 innings, and 241 batting average against.
Siriaco with a high fly ball left field. Ichiro is there. He'll put it away for the first out.
Here's the scouting report on CC Sabathia. Game on. This is not a drill. Of course, he's been through pennant race baseball many times in his career, so he knows what has to be done tonight. He has to pitch the Yankees to a victory, and he's been pitching very well of late. 21 strikeouts in his last 16 innings. He's had a super slider, good control of his fastball in his last 2 outings, and maybe he can continue that trend throughout the remainder of the season.
Here's Daniel Nava. Red Sox just got swept by the Orioles. They've lost 5 straight and 9 of their last 10. There's a strike. In fact, they're 7-23 since August 28th, and that's the worst record in Major League Baseball. This is not the Red Sox team that they put together during the offseason, not the team that Bobby Valentine thought he was going to be managing in this final series at the stadium. Driven foul. Dustin Pedroia not in the lineup. Neither is Ellsbury. Pedroia hurt his left hand sliding into a base yesterday against the Orioles. And Ellsbury's not in just because there's a left-hander. That's what Valentine said.
Yeah, but he's 5 for 15 in his career against CC Sabathia. But he's going to play tomorrow and the next night.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. They got him. Let's check out the Yankee defense behind CeCe, and it's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Ichiro, Granderson, and Swisher in the outfield left to right. Chavez, the third baseman. A-Rod's DHing tonight. Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira is back in the lineup. Martin's behind the plate, and Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. There's Teixeira, just one game played for the Yankees in the last 31, and that was on September 8th, the game he hurt himself on the final play at first base in Baltimore, or re-injured himself. There's a breaking ball strike to Cody Ross.
And the Yankees just really missed Teixeira, you know, all around. The defense, the middle of that lineup. Just hope he got enough at-bats down in his rehab starts to be ready up here.
Yankee fans might not want to see that play again, because on that particular play, he was safe at first base, and the Yankees would have tied that game. And they went on to lose it on that particular play. There were other things during the game that led to them losing, but that kind of punctuated the whole evening.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Strong top of the first inning as Sabathia retires the side on 8 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Red Sox nothing. Yankees coming to bat against him. By Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off, playing left field and batting second, Ichiro Suzuki. Alex Rodriguez, the DH, hits third. Cleaning up second baseman, Robinson Cano. Mark Teixeira's back at first, batting fifth, batting sixth. Playing right field, Nick Swisher. Curtis Granderson in center field will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the catcher, Russell Martin. And Eric Chavez at third will bat ninth.
There is Clay Buchholz, now a 28-year-old right-hander, 2-4 in his career against the New York Yankees. These are his numbers. He's got 11 wins. It's tied with Felix Dubron, the young left-hander of the Red Sox, for the team lead in victories. Less than a hit per inning. Strikeouts, you see the walks, the opponent's batting average. Here's the scouting report on Clay Buchholz. And it will tell you this. He hasn't had a win since August the 16th, when he won at Camden Yards against the Baltimore Orioles. So that's 7 starts ago. His curveball has kind of changed a little bit. Still a pretty good one. It used to be nose and toes 12-6. It's kind of got a little more tilt to it now. And A-Rod and Cano, these are the 2 guys that have handled Buchholz over the years. They're both over 400 against Clay Buchholz.
Here's Derek Jeter to start it off. Derek had 3 big hits in yesterday's game. 379 hitter as the first batter of the game for the Yankees. Usually jumps on a first pitch fastball. That one is low. He takes it. 1-0. Derek had 7 hits and 30 at-bats on the road trip. Yankees were 4-3 on the trip, taking 2 out of 3 in Minnesota and splitting 4 with Toronto. 1-1. 213 hits for Derek Jeter, far and away the most hits of anybody in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he is going to lead the league in hits and plate appearances. It's a pretty remarkable year all the way around from day one.
He is just 6 hits away from his career high, which he set in 1999. When he had 219 hits.
Strike. Count 2-2. First two pitchers for the Red Sox in this series are legitimate pitchers. Buchholz and Lester. Matsuzaka has struggled. He's going to pitch on Wednesday night. Two. Now the Yankees actually clinched the playoff spot last night when Texas defeated the Angels, and so did the Orioles. Now they're battling to see who's going to be the winner of the American League East. The wild card means you play a one-game play-in game just to get to the American League Division Series.
Something you want to try and avoid at all costs.
And I've been asked this question so many times today. If the Yankees and the Orioles finish with the same record, well, what happens? There'll be a one-game playoff in Baltimore. And then the next question is, why Baltimore? Well, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. They split 18 games. The second tiebreaker is who has the better record in the Eastern Division. That's the Orioles, so they get the home field for that play-in game to see who the American League East champion is. Driven out to right field. Ross is there for the first out. Let's check out the defense for the Red Sox, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Tri-State Dealer. Nava, Lynn, and Ross in the outfield. Valencia, Iglesias, who could really pick it at short. Siriaco at second, and Moro Gomez at first. Salta Lamacchia behind the plate, and Clay Buchholz on the mound.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned the site of the playoff game, if it comes to pass, would be in Baltimore. Well, the fact is the Orioles won more games here at Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees won more games at Baltimore this year.
Here's Ichiro. And there's a strike.
You know, not to be forgotten, too, is not only the Baltimore and Yankee situation, but Texas is just one game up, too, for the best record in the league in home field advantage. So that's still riding on the line as well.
Ground ball to second. Siriaco. Throw almost pulled Gomez off the bag, but two away.
David, you and I were talking before the game about Clay Buchholz, and the fact is that he seems to be a change of speeds type pitcher. He's got a good changeup, good curve, good enough fastball, and you thought he didn't strike out as many hitters as you thought he would.
Yeah, when you look at his walks to strikeout ratio, he's got better stuff than that. He's got better control than that, and you know, you think that as he progresses, that he's going to get in better positions to strike guys out, and that number should go up.
Pitch to Alex is a strike, 0-1. Good numbers for Alex against Buchholz, 9 for 22 with 2 home runs.
Throughout this long season, Buchholz has only made one start against the Yankees. That was way back in April the 20th at Fenway Park, and he took the loss. And that was the 100-year celebration day. The Yankees won 6-2. Buchholz gave up all 6 runs in 6 innings.
Foul back.
Good swing. There's been 2 fastballs in the middle of the plate from Buchholz to A-Rod. One he took on the first one, and that one he fouled back. You keep throwing it there, bad things are going to happen, no matter whether it's A-Rod or somebody else for the Yankees.
Out of play. Let's check out the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Lovely night, 69 degrees, 44% humidity. Wind is 10 miles per hour. It is a great night for baseball. Some young fans in the house. taking pictures to remember.
Younger and younger with the cell phones now.
I bet you they're on Twitter, too.
I saw a 2-year-old the other day flipping through an iPhone, getting to the app she wants. She can't even speak yet. She knew how to get to an app.
She just put her iPhone down.
Yeah.
And the 1-2. A-Rod with a weak hat through a high fastball, and the Yankees go down in order. 1-2-3. We played one here at the stadium. No score. Mauro Gomez will lead it off against Sabathia in the second. Tonight's question is, what is the best aspect of the new postseason format? Here are your choices. Is it the extra wild card game? The division series format? More contenders? You can text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply.
How do you feel?
I think the best aspect is that it puts such a premium on winning your division.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
wasn't even there. Here's Mauro Gomez. There's a strike.
I think the more contenders.
That certainly worked because there was as many as 15 teams as early as 2 weeks ago that were still somewhat in this race.
Oh, 2.
Red Sox have several players in their lineup tonight who have spent some time in AAA, including Gomez. He was an all-star down at with Pawtucket this year.
The 0-2. Just to revisit the possible tiebreaker the Yankees and the O's might have to play. Both teams want to avoid that, but let's look at the Yankee angle, why they want to avoid that. If you have to play that tie-breaking game, Andy Pettit's going to start that game. The 1-2. Check swing, did he go? No. Now, if the Yankees lose that game and have to go into the wild card one-game playoff, then they have to use CC Sabathia in that game. Then, if they win that game, then you have to go into the American League Division Series without your number one starter be able to pitch twice. So both the Yankees and the Orioles want to get it done in these next 3 days somehow.
Especially with a 5-game series in the division round. And, that's still a bone of contention for a lot of baseball purists, too. You play all season long to get to the playoffs. You win your division. And as the Yankees saw last year, you're out when Detroit knocks you out in the first round in the best 3 out of 5.
3-2 to Gomez.
Yeah, the Yankees expected to have tough games against Verlander, but Scherzer was the guy who gave them the hard time. Not only one starting, but also in relief. He pitched very well against the Yankees.
Yeah, his game here at Yankee Stadium last year was the pivotal game.
3-2. Lined in the left center field, giving chase as Ichiro. He can't get there, but he does cut the ball off in the gap. Morrow still going for 2. Here's the throw. Morrow's in there with a double. Morrow Gomez doubles to open up the second.
I mentioned Gomez was an all-star down at AAA. He had 59 extra base hits, including 24 home runs for Pawtucket. Although I did hear it was a hitting ballpark. Never played there. But Ichiro, the reason why he doesn't make a better throw, because his momentum is taking him away from second base. Had to slam on the brakes, then make the throw. You know, he does have a strong arm. If he gets time to really set and make a better throw, he would have made a better throw to second base. But just catching up to that ball in the gap was a major part of that play.
Here's Ryan Lavarnway. And he hits that one deep to right. Backing up Swisher on the track. He'll make the play. Morrow Gomez tags. He'll go to third. Boy, that really had some carry to it off the bat of Lavarnway.
Well, it does, and that's what Lavarnway has going for him. That's why the Red Sox are so high on him and see him as the catcher of the future, because he's got some bat speed and some pop in that bat. More probably known for his offense than defense, although they think he can be a good defensive catcher as well.
Well, if anything, the Red Sox probably have the 2 biggest catchers in the league, and Saltalamacchia, who's up there now, and Lavarnway. Of course, tonight Lavarnway's a designated hitter.
Yankees bring the infield halfway with Gomez at third and Saltalamacchia at the plate.
Either one of these guys could have played tight end for the Patriots yesterday.
The Yankees bringing that infield in. Going to cut down that runner if they can.
Two and 0. Not much power from the right side for Saltalamacchia. Two and 1.
The early sign on Sabathia is all of his secondary pitches are sharp tonight. Good changeups. He's thrown 4 or 5 changeups all down. And his slider, a lot more depth the last couple of starts and continues tonight. Excellent swing and miss stuff.
Good fastball there, 2-2. Stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network.
And this is where you're really thinking about it. If you're on the mound, you're thinking swing and miss. You're thinking strikeout. You're not trying to get a ground ball to the infield with the infield in. Probably going to go to that slider to get that strikeout. Martin wants the fastball in.
2-2. Popped up. Teixeira can't make the play. Ran out of room.
Thought he was going to get a shot here, and you see, maybe he just didn't quite get there soon enough. You can see here on a better angle. Ooh, bounces right on top of the bench. Little late getting there. Not sure if he had enough room or not. Very close.
Two-two. Inside 3-2.
Now, one thing Teixeira was told before the game by Joe Girardi not to really bust it running. And you said he got there a little late. Now, if he's 100%, I have a feeling he gets there a little early, can really set his reach and make the play. It looked like he got there just about when the ball got there and couldn't extend. I talked to Mark before the game and said, I feel pretty good. But he didn't say I feel 100%.
3-2. Popped up. That will not get a run in. Chavez makes the play for the second out. Saltalamacchia, 186 hitter this year with runners in scoring position, does not come through there. There's Danny Valencia. Want to know.
Yankee fans might remember Valencia with the Minnesota Twins. That's came up with Minnesota. Had some success. Now with the Red Sox, and he too was another player who spent time in the minors this year. 24 games with the Twins, also spent 69 games at AAA with Minnesota this year.
One and one.
You just see a lot more bouncing around with these guys that are on the cusp, you know, sort of the 4A type players, or the guys that another organization might have a spot for. And a perfect example is Steve Pearce, who finds himself back with the Orioles now. What a year he's had.
I think things opened up for Valencia with the Red Sox when Middlebrooks was injured. Will Middlebrooks, the rookie third baseman who took over once Kevin Youkilis was traded to the Chicago White Sox.
Been a long year for that man. Most people predicting that he will not be back next year, although he thinks he will. 2-1.
Believe it or not, the Red Sox had an even worse September than they had last year. Last year they were 7-19. This year they were 7-20. So over the last 2 years, the Red Sox 14-39 in the month of September.
And that already cost one manager his job. Strike.
Wow, 3-1 changeup in that spot to Valencia from Sabathia.
We were talking about his secondary pitches were more crisp. Although it wasn't well located, it was off speed enough that Valencia took it.
Three-2. He struck him out. And a change. So the leadoff double by Mauro Gomez does not hurt the Yankees as the Red Sox strand one. We go to the bottom of the second. Cano will lead off. Go for their 28th World Championship. Individual seats, group tickets, and luxury suites are all available. For more information and to purchase your 2012 New York Yankees postseason tickets, visit Yankees.com, or you can call 212-YANKEES today. No score as we go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the Yankee order against Clay Buchholz. And he's got to face a very hot hitter, Robinson Cano, a 6-game hitting streak. And on the road trip, 15 for 28. So his average had gone down to 295, bumped it back up to 306. That one is driven deep to center field. Going back, Lynn, track, wall, see ya! A long home run for Robinson Cano. And the Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, we told you the scouting report. He hits Buckholz well, over 400. That's going to go up a little bit. Didn't waste any time. Michael called it. This is a long, towering home run. High fastball, belt high, middle of the plate, and scorched. Number 31.
And here's Teixeira. Now let me ask you both, did that go off the Mohegan Sun Sports Ball?
That was my next question. I mean, it looked like it had a shot, but a little wake-up call for the people in the restaurant out there.
We'll check it, but it might have, but I know it landed on the netting.
Extra run, need a martini.
Check the top of your screen to see if it did hit.
Ooh,
it did? Hit just over the blue.
Hit the base.
Yeah. And with that home run, Robinson Cano now has Royal company. And he did it in a royal way, hitting the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. He ties the late, great Bobby Mercer for 20th place in the Yankees all-time home run list with 175. 1-2. 2-2.
Would have been nice if Bobby was here to call that.
Yes,
yeah. Certainly.
Well, somewhere he's smiling.
Yes. The great Bobby Mercer. Still missed, obviously.
2-2. 3-2.
Talking to the sheriff before the game around the batting cage, we'll see how the Red Sox are set up defensively. That's one thing that hasn't changed now that he's back. He said he played in one simulated game and 2 inter-squad games down at Tampa. Get ready for this. Michael told you he's missed 30 of the last 31 games in the one game he played in. That's when he was re-injured in Baltimore.
And as Kenny said earlier, they told him not to run that hard, and he had these instructions as well. Here's the injury, and it happened at the stadium. Stayed in the game, ran around the base. You could see him hobbling, and that was it. Then he came back on September 8th. They said, don't bust it. And then a play like this happens, and you bust it.
Last play of the ball game, and I'm glad we didn't see that replay again because he was safe.
And he's out on a strikeout, looking. 1 away here in the 7th.
Get another look at this. Boy, that's a generous call. High, probably got the plate just above the belt. Teixeira, no argument.
Tony, if you were pitching, you would want that.
You can see right there about navel high. Just split the difference between the NY and the belt. And you're right, Kenny. I do want that. I remember arguing a pitch during the World Series in 1996. That same pitch. I ended up walking Ryan Klesko with the bases loaded.
It all worked out.
Didn't like it at the time, but you're right.
Here's Swisher. He's had some season against the Red Sox. 21 for 50. That's 420 with 5 homers and 14 ribbies.
He and Teixeira in particular, switch hitters for the Yankees, have worn out the Red Sox. But Teixeira's driven in 18 runs against Boston this year. They've seen enough of these two guys.
Ooh. And that one goes past Buckholz into center field, a base hit for Swisher, and the Yankees are off and running. Go yap about tonight's game on Sports Yapper, free on all iPhones and Androids.
Tex now with a 4-game hitting streak, and this is definitely a look out. Ooh, right between the legs. I said swish. She almost picked him off on the mound. I don't know how pitchers get out of the way sometimes. That was close.
Very close. And all you got to do is look at Andy Pettit on a similar play that put him out with a fracture on your shin.
Here's Granderson. Got a big hit in yesterday's game to pick up 2 ribbies and even 100 on the season. And Curtis needs 3 more runs scored to get to 100 in that category.
Kind of duplicate last year's numbers, although had a few more. I think he led the league in runs scored last year. Swisher's now hitting 13 of his last 14 games, coming on at the right time.
You're right, Kenny. I mean, Granderson touched home plate 136 times last year. So anytime you get up in those kind of numbers, that's just a monster year. Usually, 100 runs scored is a really good year. 136, better than really good.
One and two.
If there's a way, and when you look at his numbers overall, the one thing that kind of stands out is the fact he's hitting only 226. And there are ways to improve your average and your on-base percentage. A lot of times we've documented the fact that he strikes out too. I think there are ways to work on cutting down on your strikeouts.
He does lead the Yankees with 74 walks. So, you would, it's sort of a strikeouts. Certainly hurts, but he gets his share of walks.
And 191 now.
And obviously home runs, too.
That one's driven deep to right. There it goes. See ya. A 2-run home run for Granderson. And the Yankees lead 3-0.
We're talking about all the strikeouts, but you can't forget the 41 home runs. And I think there are more hitters like Granderson around now in baseball than there used to be. You think of hitters like Adam Dunn, who's going to strike out over 200 times with the White Sox this year, but he too has got 40 home runs. So I think managers and organizations are willing to take the strikeouts as long as you have the production of hitting the 40 and 100. But you can't have too many guys like that in your lineup. You never advance runners.
Let's take a look at that swing again. It's the Coors Light cold hard blast.
Right in his wheelhouse. About thigh high, middle in at best, and launched.
Don't have the sound.
Driven out into right center field off the bat of Russell Martin. That ball is going to be gone. A home run. Just got over that scoreboard. And the Yankees go back-to-back. A 2-run shot and a solo shot. Russell Martin makes it 4-0. Now Bobby is going to talk to the umpire and see if there was interference.
Bobby might be invoking the name Jeffrey Mayer here. That was about the area he was sitting years ago.
I think that would not have been a homer.
And made the grab.
That's a Boston fan.
And then dropped it. Yes, with the Red Sox hat. Off the wrist. Then the neck.
They're going to go look. Stevie Buckner with the call. and he's going to get a look at it again.
I think that's going to be overturned.
With years ago, it wouldn't have been, as we know. But now, with the use of replay, yeah, I don't think it would have been either, Michael. If anything, it would have hit the point of the fence. Then you don't know what would have happened, which way it would have gone.
The problem is the fan overreaches. You see that ball lands high on his wrist, so that might have landed on top of the wall there. That's close.
Yeah.
That's closer than you think. You get fooled by how far the fan reached over, but the fan reached over too far as the ball kind of hit almost past his wrist, up his arm a bit.
Well, Russell Martin doesn't think it's going to get overturned. He's putting on his catcher's gear. If it's overturned, they're probably going to put him at second base.
Nick Swisher's opinion. He probably already went down and saw the replay.
We blew it up just a little bit to take a look. Does that ball stay in the ballpark?
As Coney said, it hit him up on the wrist, not in the hand area, which was actually extended beyond the fence.
Could have landed right in here and maybe continued on out.
Not sure if they see enough there to overturn it. We'll see in moments.
Coney. If it's a home run, he can't be thrown out. Am I right?
He's got a case.
They say it's a home run. The umpires say it's a home run.
He should be going back to his seat.
David, I guess your point is, and that's probably what the umpire saw, that it could have hit the top of the wall and bounded in.
The guy with the Pedroia jersey reaches over with the hat, overreaches, it hits right on his wrist and continues on.
You know, if it's
real close to call.
If it's gone, he shouldn't go.
Bring him back.
Here's Eric Chavez. Pitch inside.
The Yankees have turned on the power this inning. 3 home runs.
21st home run for Martin.
What's your record for Cias in an inning?
I think it might be 4.
Okay. Well, still a chance.
That one, unfortunately, wasn't a Cia.
Call me maybe.
2-0. 12th time the Yankees have gone back-to-back with home runs. So they've given CC a 4-0 lead. Bottom of the 3rd inning in St. Pete, the Orioles and the Rays, 0-0. Count 3-1. Well, we've had 3 moonshots here in this inning, and there's kind of a third of one over the scoreboard in center.
All right, bad moon rising if your Buckholt's on the mound right now.
There's a bad moon on the rise.
Yankees now have 37 home runs against the Red Sox this year. The previous franchise high for a single season was 35 home runs in 1961, and perfect. There goes the boom for sure. 3 booms.
Well, today's the anniversary of Roger Maris's home run against Tracy Stallard at the old Yankee Stadium, number 61.
Chavez works a walk. Rewind the time machine, Kenny.
Well, I just turned the channel and I saw this. Roger Maris into the lower deck at the old Yankee Stadium. His 61st home run of the year, a single season record. What a summer that was. Mickey Mantle finished with 54. The Yankees at the time had a team record, I believe it was 241 home runs. And a lot of them would remind you it was done without the DH.
See how sheepish he was? His teammates had to push him out of the dugout. Roger Maris so humble. Didn't even want to go out and have a curtain call.
Yeah,
just kind of waved his hat, tried to get back in. His teammates pushed him back out of the dugout.
It was some kind of summer. As well documented by Billy Crystal in the movie 61.
The Yankees have had 7 1/3 innings against Buchholz this year, and they've blasted 8 home runs in those 7 1/3. One and two.
Good changeup, had Jeter out in front.
That is remarkable because coming into this game, Buchholz had given up 22 home runs, so almost a third of his home runs on the season given up to the Yankees.
Still 1 and 2. The 1-2. Breaking ball inside. 2 and 2.
Yeah, Buchholz is another one of the Red Sox that had some injury problems this year. His last couple of years, a bad back slowed him down. Red Sox used the DL quite a bit this season.
Count 3 and 2.
27 different players on the DL this year.
This would be the 30th pitch of the inning.
So that's kind of adding injury to the injury of the season for the Red Sox.
Foul back.
First time they've lost 90 games since 1966. Yesterday they lost their 90th game. Still drew over 3 million fans at Fenway this year. And the fans were faithful.
Doesn't seem to have that put away pitch for Jeter.
Be the 9th pitch of the at bat.
Jeter works a walk. Randy Neiman will go out and talk with Buchholz. Yankees and the Orioles tied atop the East, and this is how close they've been. In September, the Yankees went 17-11. The Orioles 19-9. They scored about the same runs per game. Orioles had a higher batting average. They actually hit more home runs than the Yanks, and they pitched a little better. So the Orioles went 19-9 in September, and they were 18-9 in August. So everybody kept waiting for them to go away, and they haven't gone away.
You're right, because usually those are the 2 months of the year they were going away in the past. That 18-9 was 9-18. But one thing we've seen from Baltimore this year, their bullpen has been pretty good. Pedro Strop has struggled a little bit. Alfredo Aceves up this early in the ballgame for the Red Sox. He's kind of a jack of all trades with Boston, as he was with the Yankees. But when the Orioles get the ball to Jim Johnson, 50 saves.
Remarkable year. So consistent. Under the radar, too.
Not if you have to hit against him.
Here's Ichiro. First and second, one out. There's a strike. They're still scoreless. Bottom of the third inning in Tampa Bay.
It's true. You know, a lot of the talk about relievers in the game are in the National League, with Kimbrel in Atlanta having a remarkable season for the ages, and of course Chapman with Cincinnati, the Cuban Missile. But over here in the American League, Johnson with his 50 saves. The story of this league.
1-1.
The last 15 games for Ichiro, he's hitting over 400. And that has prompted Joe Girardi to move him up in the lineup, get him up at the top, turn him into a setup man.
Only one batter had a better batting average in the month of September in the league than Ichiro. Ichiro hit .385 with 2 homers and 11 runs batted in. And the only guy with a better average, Joe Mauer, who hit .388.
Mauer's kind of projected himself into the batting race, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
I think he's only 2 points behind Cabrera starting tonight.
Line drive, base hit to right field. Chavez stops at third. Jeter goes to second. Bases loaded for the Yanks.
Has anybody been hotter?
Well, that's just sitting right there. You see the breaking ball, trying to get it down and in, and doesn't get there. Just speeds up Ichiro's bat. A line drive in the hole. Bases are drunk now.
The Yankees have batted around here in the second inning.
And here's Alex Rodriguez with the bases loaded. He struck out in the first inning. A-Rod has gone 58 at bats without a home run.
And he's still just 1 run batted in behind Stan Musial on the all-time list. And it's been going on for a while.
He's also tied with the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, for the most Grand Slams all time. Did he check his swing? Yes, he did. That's Bill Miller. Home plate umpire is Dan Iasonia.
If you're on the Yankee bench right now, you want to knock Buchholz out of this game right now. Give Sabathia even more cushion to work with. Get into that Boston pen in the first game of this series. Try to wipe him out in the first game. Wear out the bullpen if you can, even though it's September and they have some arms down there.
Bounced up there, blocked by Saltalamacchia.
It could have a residual effect on the next 2 games as well.
This will be the 40th pitch of the inning.
You can tell by that last pitch. This is when you're really starting to feel it when you're on the mound. Those games I've had these kind of innings, Michael, and 40 pitches is a lot. As you saw, that last changeup went about 50 feet.
Line to left field. Nava makes the catch. Tagging is Chavez. He will score. An RBI for A-Rod. A sac fly. He ties Stan Musial and the Yankees lead 5-0. 1,950 ribbies, and he is tied with Stan for 5th place all time.
Yeah, it's kind of appropriate because back in the 1950s, Stan the Man was one of the best hitters in baseball history, a Hall of Famer. 1,950 runs batted in. There's been only 2 players that have driven in 2,000. Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth.
Here's Cano, who started this all with a booming home run to center field that went off the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar glass. And that was Cano's first home run in 17 games, his 31st of the year.
He's only seen one pitch tonight.
And that home run extended his hitting streak to 7 straight. Lined into right center field. That is a base hit. It splits the outfielders. It goes to the wall. Jeter scores. Ichiro scores. It's a 2-run double for Cano. And the Yankees are pouring it on. Well, Bobby Valentine has seen enough. Clay Buchholz getting roughed up here in the second inning. The Yankees lead this one 7-0. Brought to you by AT&T. And that call brings in Alfredo Aceves. 25 saves for Aceves, but you can see how his star has fallen. He's coming in long relief. Not exactly a great relationship between Aceves and Valentine.
Aceves came into this season, you saw his record at 2-10. He had a great affinity for picking up wins in relief. He started this year at 24-3 in the major leagues. And this year he's 2-10 out of the bullpen for the Red Sox with, as Michael said, the inflated ERA. 2009 with the Yankees, he was 10-1. Only one game started. The next year with the Yankees, he went 3-0. And his first year, last year with Boston, he was 10-2.
Visit the official online shop of the Yankees at Yankees.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop, the Yankees.com shop. Bobby and Alfredo have had a couple of run-ins in Bobby's office. So they're not exactly on the same page. Here's Teixeira. And the biggest one was when he called in Alfredo Aceves and told him he wasn't going to close anymore. And Alfredo stormed out. A 1-0. 1-1.
Well, he wasn't the only one to have run-ins with Bobby this year, unfortunately. I think it kind of set the tone for the Red Sox season. And you can go all the way back to spring training with Kevin Youkilis, who now, of course, are playing for the Chicago White Sox.
Going to the bottom of the fourth, Orioles and the Rays, 0-0. count 3-1 to Teixeira. Struck out looking earlier this inning. The 2 hits for Cano in this inning now gives him 7 straight games with multiple hits. Hotter than hot.
And you mentioned he jumped his average back up over 3. Oh, that was a beautiful shot. Our director John Moore right on the money again, along with our camera crew. The lifeblood of a 300 hitter. Multi-hit games.
That one's driven deep to right. There it goes. See ya. Another long home run for the Yankees. Their 4th blast of the inning. And they lead 9-0. Welcome back, Mark Teixeira.
And Michael is just trying to see a record for an inning.
One of these days, Alice. Bang, zoom, to the moon.
Man. I was telling him before the game, don't run too hard. You can trot, you know, and he smiled.
Oh, perfect positioning.
That's why you bring your glove to the game, right there.
He was part of the shift.
So here is Swisher. 9-0 Yankees.
That's what he brings to the lineup, Michael. Segment 2.
And you know that this score is prominently displayed at the Trop in St. Pete, and that puts some pressure on the Orioles right now. Yankees leading 9-0 with CC Sabathia on the mound. You kind of like their chances. 2-0.
Can you get some extra warm-up tosses next inning? You know what I mean, Coney? You'll take all the runs, but you want to be sharp as the game progresses.
Sometimes, you know, you get these kind of runs, you wish you could store a couple of them for your next start, you know. It doesn't work that way, though.
And CeCe's next start will be in the playoffs. Tampa Bay takes a 1-0 lead on Ben Zobrist's solo shot. Of Wei-Yin Chen. Alex Cobb is starting and still pitching for Tampa Bay. That one's drilled deep to right. If it's fair, it's gone. Foul ball.
Check Swisher's reaction. He knew it right away. He's like, oh, that's not going to stay. No body English. Easily foul.
Almost a record for Cias.
Line drive, base hit, down the right field line. It'll go into the corner. Played out there by Ross. Swisher's going for 2. He'll make it.
Shortstop Iglesias tried to deke Nick Swisher. And it's an old infielder's trick. You act like the throw is nowhere near the bag. And then all of a sudden you spring into action and catch the throw and make the tag. You try and make the runner slow up, thinking there's not going to be a play. Ross gets the ball back in. Swisher's hustling though. Hands on hips, all of a sudden he reaches for the ball.
The old Statue of Liberty flag.
Uh-huh.
Here's Granderson. And a strike. Granderson with a 2-run home run earlier this inning. Two. Hit sharply to first, and the inning is finally over. Mauro Gomez steps on the bag, and that will do it. But the Yankees have to be over the moon about the power surge they just had. It started with Cano, then Granderson, then Martin, and Teixeira ended it. 4 home runs, and the Yankees lead 9-0 after 2. Prius plug-in, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Joe Torre's seen outbursts like that as Yankee manager, and now just a spectator as the Yankees sent 13 batters to the plate in the second inning, 8 hits, 9 runs, 4 home runs, and it took 36 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah, one of those nights to loosen your tie and relax.
Shea Schwan Lin takes outside from Sabathia. Lincoln scoreboard 9-0 Yankees.
Lin is from Taiwan. And he comes with the reputation of being a very good defensive outfielder. And he's in center field tonight for the Red Sox. Now, the last time the Red Sox had a Lin in center field, it was Freddie Lin. And I remember Freddie Lin's rookie year. He won MVP and was the Rookie of the Year in the same year, 1975, for the Red Sox.
Count 3-0 to Lin.
In fact, the Red Sox broke in 2 rookies that year. Jim Rice's first year. And, of course, Jim Rice went on to be a Hall of Famer.
The 3-0 to Lin. There's a strike.
Yeah, speaking of rookie MVPs and Rookie of the Years, Mr. Trout out in Anaheim, kind of making a pretty good bid. Certainly the Rookie of the Year. The last question is whether he can get enough votes to beat Miguel Cabrera in Detroit for the MVP.
Well, the way they go about it now, they delve into all the numbers that they're in situations that they didn't do years ago. And if it was just because of the fact that if Cabrera does win the Triple Crown, he'd probably win it. But Mike Trout has done some things that nobody's done.
It seems like the baseball sabermetrician set favors Trout because he has a higher WAR, better base runner, better outfielder, better defender, obviously.
Is he a better hitter?
A pretty good hitter.
He is a good hitter, but I think Miguel Cabrera could be the best hitter in the league.
And has been for several years.
Strike three. Lynn down looking. And we're going to be looking at Bob Lorenz as he gives us an update. Bob? Thank you, Bob. We got to see us some more Bob, so we'll do that a little bit later on.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Jose Iglesias, and there's a strike. Iglesias is a great fielder. He's major league ready, but whether or not he's ready to hit, well, that's a question. You see his numbers, they're not good. He's 1 for his last 15.
If the Tigers win tonight, they win the Central, don't they?
Yes, they have to lose all three, and the White Sox have to win.
You see, there's the thing. They're going to the playoffs, and to me, the Angels are not. And I've always felt the player that deserves it is the guy who helps his team get to the playoffs. And I'm going to tell you, Mike Trout one day is going to win the MVP in this league. If he doesn't win it this year.
It's going to be an interesting debate, and we'll see who wins out. Because a lot of sabermetrician types really believe it should be Trout. I think Trout's WAR is like 10.4, and Cabrera's is 6.6, which doesn't seem like that much, but they say that Trout gives you 4 more wins. Hit sharply to Jeter. 2 outs.
Well, it is shaping up to be a old school and new school debate. And Miguel Cabrera, year in and year out, just right at the top of the leaderboard in all those categories offensively, so consistent over his entire career, really, over 10 years.
Yeah, he has led the league in each one of those categories, but not all of them in the same year, which he has a chance to do this year. It should be interesting. I want to see how this plays out.
It's shaping up as a really good debate between old school and new school, as I said.
Here's Siriaco. In the Daily News, Bill Madden made an impassioned plea that it should be Cabrera, that the seam heads shouldn't have their way on this, that Cabrera just flat out has had a better season.
So you're saying Bill is old school then?
I think Bill would say he's old school.
Yeah, well.
And if I'm correct, Coney, I'm sure you remember, I think Joel Sherman in the Post made the case that Trout should be.
Yes, I talked to Joel before the game about this sort of an issue, and the thing you need to understand about the new sabermetrics and WAR is that it factors in defense, which is still somewhat flawed. I like the fact that you're trying to quantify defense and how that helps a team, but they haven't quite perfected that side of the equation as of yet. I mean, that doesn't take into account how hard the balls are hit.
So that would tell you that each and every year, that if this same thing happens with these two players, Cabrera's going to lose because he's not the defensive player that Mike Trout is, or he doesn't steal bases like Trout. They factor in speed. He's not as fast as Trout.
Base running.
How many players are as fast as Trout?
The 0-2. Well, one old-time baseball guy told me, you know what, they don't factor in that Cabrera moved to third base without complaint, and if he didn't, they wouldn't have been able to get Prince Fielder. So how many wins was that worth?
It's worth about 30 home runs, a 300 hitter, and a 400 on-base percentage guy batting right behind him. That's how he got his numbers this year.
Swing and a miss. Siriaco down on strikes. So Sabathia works a 1-2-3 third. Yankees, it's all Yankees. 9-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. Russell Martin leads off. Season scenarios. Thursday, the Yankees play the Orioles in Baltimore if they're tied for the American League East. Friday with the AL wildcard game. At home, if they finish ahead of Texas and Oakland, tie Texas or play Tampa Bay or the Angels. On the road if they finish behind those teams. Now, the Yankees win the East with the best record. Games 1 and 2 will be on the road, Sunday and Monday. Games 3 through 5, Wednesday through Friday at home. If the Yankees win the East without the best record, games 1 and 2 Saturday and Sunday on the road. Games 3 through 5 Tuesday through Thursday at home. And if the Yankees win the wild card games 1 and 2 Sunday, Monday at home. 3, 4, and 5 Wednesday through Friday on the road. Now, for ticket information, you go to Yankees.com/tickets. So there are tickets available for those scenarios. So there you have it. Take a picture of your screen and study it. Put it on pause because if you have a DVR, you could do that. But there's a lot of permutations of what could happen. We wanted to give you a little bit of an idea. The 1-0. Dribbled back to the mound. Aceves will get Martin for the first out.
A lot of different scenarios. And one of them is going to come true within the next couple of days.
Now, I hate the phrase control your own destiny, because if it's destiny, you really have no control over it. It's going to just happen. But the Yankees can dictate what's going to happen. If they win all their games, they're going to win the American League East. Even if it's the Orioles winning all their games in Tampa Bay, the Yankees win that game on Thursday at Camden Yards, then they win the American League East. So they don't have to depend on anybody else to do anything for them. They do have to depend on other things that happen if, in fact, they have the best record in the American League. Lincoln scoreboard, Yankees well on their way to a win tonight with a 9-0 lead, bottom of the third.
I think one thing that helps them is Texas is playing Oakland. Oakland's got to win. And I think one thing that helps them in regard to the Tampa Bay Oriole game is the Oakland-Texas game is later on. So there's still some incentive for the Rays as they play the night against Baltimore at Tropicana Field. If they had known earlier, say that was a day game on the West Coast and the A's had won, Tampa Bay's done.
Right.
So what kind of incentive do they have in tonight's game?
You know, it's also an interesting debate. We don't want to get your mind spinning, but there's so many different things that could happen. Do you really want to finish with the best record? Because if you have the best record, you have to sit around and find out where you're going. You don't even know what team you're playing. There's a ground ball to second. You don't know who to scout. So you have to study all these scouting reports, because there are some teams that might make the wild card, might not. Because if you're the #1 seed, you play the wild card one. You don't know where you're going. You're going to go to one of those places. If you finish second, let's say that you know that the Tigers are going to win the Central. You're going to Detroit, and that's all there is to it. So there's not that much stuff to study. I mean, the players don't worry about the travel. They just get on a plane and take them there.
I think you made a point earlier, though, Michael. You get a chance to set your pitchers up, and that's the thing. You don't have to use your best guys in other games like other teams have to.
Obviously, winning the division is paramount, but whether or not you finish with the best record or the second, that will dictate where you play and who you play. And if you know you're playing them. If you're the #1 seed, you have to wait a while to find out who you're playing and where you're going. Got all that?
Trying to catch my breath.
And if the Yankees and Baltimore tie, and L.A. and Oakland loses 3 straight, and the Angels tie them for the last wild card, but there's another scenario for that one.
The 0-2.
Oakland looks like they're going to be the second wild card, but they need one more win to clinch that one.
That's quite amazing if the Orioles and the A's make the playoffs, what they've done. I mean, the Orioles haven't had a winning season since '97. A's haven't been there since 2006. Kind of changed their roster during the offseason. Brought in a lot of young kids who have all clicked. 2-2 to Jeter. Grounded to third. Tough hop. Valencia stays with it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Alfredo Aceves. Okay, we're going to quiz you on everything we just told you when we come back in the top of the 4th inning. Daniel Nava will lead off. Red Sox finished the season in last place was 1992, and who was the manager of that team? We will find out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Yankees lead this one 9-0. So CC Sabathia will deal with 2, 3, 4 in the Red Sox order, starting with Daniel Nava. Talked to Bobby Valentine on Friday, and I asked him, knowing how things turned out, what would you have done differently as the manager of the Red Sox? And he said the first thing I would have done was I would have left beer in the clubhouse on the road. And they tried to soften that. I said, because I needed it. There's a drive to deep right field. Going back is Swisher, turning, looking, see ya. A home run for Nava. And the Red Sox on the board. Yankees lead 9-1.
Second day in a row that Nava's hit a homer. He hit a homer yesterday in Baltimore with a man aboard. Yesterday pulled it into the bleachers in left field, and tonight right center here at Yankee Stadium.
Somebody hit the fucking... You see it in batting practice. All the right-handed hitters from the visiting teams that come in work on this swing. Hit the ball towards the short porch, just like the lefties do at Fenway. Saw a lot of these type of swings from the Boston right-handed hitters in batting practice. As you can see, second row.
Cody Ross 1-1. So he said he would have taken the beer back and put it in the clubhouse because he had to take the beer out, especially the September collapse last year with the chicken and beer in the clubhouse during the game. So that was something he almost had to do, but he admits that that was a mistake. Lined on one hop to Jeter. One away. The other thing he said he would have done, he would have listened to Al Leiter, who he had spoken to when he got the job, our colleague, because Al told him the thing you must do is have a good relationship with Josh Beckett. And Al said, go down to Texas, meet with Josh, because Bobby had said some things when he was with ESPN that Beckett took too much time on the mound, threw too many pitches, and he said, and I didn't do what Al said. He did go down to Texas, but they never had a great relationship. And after he had said what he said about Youkilis and Pedroia came out in favor of Youkilis, the clubhouse was not on his side right away. So those are the two things he said he would have done differently.
You know, the Youkilis thing I think could have been avoided. I think one reason he might have said that because they were thinking about trading Youkilis because they had Will Middlebrooks, the youngster who turned out to be a good player. In fact, a very good player before he was injured. I think if they had explained to the fans, instead of him disparaging Youkilis, who had been a big part of a championship team, if he had explained to the fans, we got this young guy, we think he's going to be good, we want to get younger, so we're thinking about trading Youkilis. I think everybody would have been all right with that, without saying disparaging remarks about Youkilis not being into it and all this sort of thing. We all know Youkilis is into it. I mean, he is a hard-nosed player. And that's what got Pedroia on Youkilis' side, and that further divided the clubhouse. So I think if they'd been out front and said, we're trying to trade him, we got this young guy who's looked good in spring training, I think everything would have been all right. Fans would have understood, especially the way Middlebrooks performed.
Mauro Gomez goes down on strikes.
Because he turned out to be a heck of a player. I think everything would have been all right.
Well, once you lose Pedroia, it's like the old line that Lyndon Johnson once said about Walter Cronkite. If you lose Walter Cronkite, you lose the country. If you lose Dustin Pedroia, you lose the clubhouse.
Yeah. That's another hard-nosed player. I've always admired him, and he plays hard all the time. So hard, in fact, he's willing to get injured on a team that's in last place.
Here's Ryan Lavarnway. Flat out to deep right in the second. And a strike. They go to the top of the sixth inning. Tampa Bay 1 and the Orioles nothing.
That's what a 36-minute inning will do to you. We're in the top of the fourth and they're in the sixth.
Orioles had a little bit of a tough night too. They had to have an emergency landing. There was a fire that broke out in the kitchen, and they dropped from 37,000 feet to 20,000 feet in like a couple seconds because they had to land in a hurry, but they put the fire out. They could have gotten serious. That one is looped into center field and caught by Granderson. So they landed in Jacksonville. They got back on the same plane and ended up getting into St. Pete at 11:30. 9-1 Yanks. Sox have to win all three. Tigers have to lose all three to the Royals, and highly unlikely, but they still have a pulse. Yankees lead this one 9-1. Here's Ichiro, and Aceves steals a strike, 0-1. Ichiro, one of the 8 hits in the Yankees' second inning, where they scored 9 runs, had 4 home runs that inning. Grounded to second. Siriaco makes the play. Let's take a look at the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. The last time the Red Sox finished the season in last place was 1992. Who was the manager of that team? The answer is Butch Hobson.
Butch Hobson. Wow.
I think that was his only year managing the team.
Well, Butch had been stalwart third baseman for the Red Sox back in the late 70s, early 80s. In fact, he used to bat ninth. I think he had 30 home runs, 100 runs batted in one. Batting ninth. That's what type of team they had. Of course, I mentioned Jim Rice and Fred Lynn and Carl Yastrzemski. Maybe Boomer Scott in those days. Carlton Fisk. Dewey Evans. I mean, they had some guys who could hit.
Count 2-1.
Shows you how good our radar gun is, Kitty, right there. They got that pitch 66 miles an hour that'll save us through in to get another ball. We don't miss a thing here.
High fly ball, right center. Lynn makes the play. And let's check in with Bob Lorenz. He has another update. Bob? Here's Cano. Homered against the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar glass in center, just to the right of dead center. And later that inning, a 2-run double. There's a strike.
Robinson Cano's 47th double on the year and his 31st home run. 47 doubles, third in the American League. Alex Gordon with the Royals has 51 coming into tonight. Been that kind of year for Robinson Cano. Extra base hits galore. And this one off the glass. And the 47th double of the year as well in the gap.
Tied for second in extra base hits in the league.
That's what he's done during the 7-game hitting streak. 17 for 26. 18 for 27. And that splits the outfielders, and that goes to the wall, and a 2-out double for Cano.
Okay. Now he is second in the league in extra base hits. With 80. Miguel Cabrera has 83, and Robinson Cano with 80 extra base hits.
Pretty good start to the night. A homer and 2 doubles.
As Michael said, he is red hot.
Little different look to the Yankee lineup with Teixeira right back in the middle of the order. Well, Teixeira came into this game, obviously had missed some time with that calf injury, but 6th in the league in at-bats per RBI. 5.4 at-bats per RBI this year for Teixeira. Didn't take him long to get a couple tonight.
Now 3-0 on Teixeira.
Josh Hamilton leads the league in at-bats per RBI. 4.3 at-bats per RBI.
It's almost like one a game.
Almost.
Because he's missed some time.
Teixeira 6th in the league and Swisher 10th.
I mentioned Cano now with 80 extra base hits. That's a good season. The all-time record is held by Babe Ruth, as you might expect. 119 extra base hits in 1921.
And a walk for Mark.
There's players that don't get 119 hits in a season, let alone 119 extra base hits.
Aceves, a long set, pitches inside. I made a mistake with Butch Hobson. Somebody on Twitter pointed out. I knew he managed one season somewhere. It was with Pawtucket, so a clear error. He ended up managing 3 years with the Red Sox, 92, 93, 94. So I apologize for giving out that bad info.
You're saying that he was there for 1 year?
I thought he was there for one.
Yeah, me too.
Checked it on my trusty iPad. He was there for 3. First and second, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 9-1 Yanks. Pitch outside. 2-1. Fouled away.
Swisher, another of the Yankees that's really played well down the stretch here. You know, after struggling for a little bit, the last 10 games, he's hitting 343, 9 RBIs.
3 more runs batted in. He ties his career high that he had with the Oakland A's back in 2006. And 92 right now in the season.
Swing and a miss, and Swisher down on strikes. Yankees, no runs a hit, no errors in. 2 men left on base. We're going to the 5th inning. It's all Yankees, 9-1 over the Red Sox. In the postseason again for the 17th time in 18 seasons. Stay with Yes throughout the playoff run for extended pre- and post-game coverage around every Yankees postseason game, featuring live on-site analysis and reaction from the players and manager, because no one knows the Yankees like the Yes Network. Here's Jared Saltalamacchia. Now I have a question, David. You're up 9-1. How long do you stay with CeCe?
Not much longer, to tell you the truth. Maybe get him through 6. I don't push him too far here.
Cadillac scoreboard, 9-1 Yankees.
Although he's cruising, and you pay attention to the pitch count as well.
Because I'm wondering, with all those different playoff permutations, what if he has to pitch a wild card game?
It would be a nice option to sort of keep in the back of your pocket if you can do it. But Sabathia, just a little under 60 pitches, 58 pitches right now. 59, this will be 60 coming.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Saltalamacchia. First out of the 5th.
David, you were right on early in the game when you said his secondary pitches, his changeup and his slider, which is acting more like a curve. Excellent tonight.
Well, he's had some sliders almost go straight down.
Is that 7 strikeouts?
Just had a picture of Joe Torre on the scoreboard. That's why you heard the crowd let out a cheer. There's Danny Valencia. Popped up, shallow center, and right there is Granderson for the second out. Here's Sheshuan Lin, who struck out looking in the third inning. And a strike. Count 0-2. Fouled away.
Tonight, CC's had many ways to go to get people out, whether it's the curveball or the slider changeup, his fastball. It's almost whatever Russell Martin calls. He can execute the pitch. Kind of stared him off there. He wants something else. 0-2.
Well, there's no doubt over the last two starts and into tonight, Sabathia is much crisper. The slider's breaking later. The fastball's up to 93, 94. And the changeup, very deceptive.
There's a changeup there, and it just missed being a called third strike.
You know, it wasn't as if there was a discernible, drop off in CC Sabathia's stuff. Prior to these last two wins, he lost 3 out of 4. But just a little bit here and there, putting away hitters, but not anymore. He is back to primetime form.
There's a base hit for Lynn.
I told you Lynn's reputation was as a good fielder.
Big update in Tampa. Let's hear from Bob Lorenz. What's up, Bob? Thank you, Bob. And where he hit that ball is right around where Evan Longoria hit the ball to get the Rays into the playoffs and knock the Red Sox out. That was in the 162nd game of the season last year. There's a strike.
Yeah, that was the home run that knocked Tito Francona out of the dugout and got Bobby V in the dugout.
It knocked Francona into the ESPN booth, not Bobby out of it. The 0-1, foul back.
Wasn't there a movie Trading Places?
That's what they did. Line foul.
A big game in Chicago, too. The Cubs trying to avoid a 100-loss season playing against Houston. I'm interested in that one.
Well, Houston's already there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they don't have to worry about playing for laying down to get to 100. They got 106.
The 0-2. Soft ground ball to second. Cano gets Iglesias hustling down the line for the final out of the fifth. No runs a hit, no errors, one man left. We're halfway through. Yankees up 9-1. Granderson leads off the bottom of the fifth. question, what is the best aspect of the new postseason format? And here's how you voted. 62% say there are more contenders, and 24% say the extra wild card game, and then the division series format. Between innings, Larry Rothschild wants to talk to CC Sabathia, probably talking things through when they might take him out. The fewer pitches he throws, the better chance he'll be well rested if he has to pitch on Friday in the wild card game, which will be on short rest.
That looked like that was definitive, and we'll find out. As you see, Pedro Beato, the former Met, now in the ball game for the Sox. Take a peek at that Yankee bullpen to see if there's any action down there. Nothing as of yet.
Here's Granderson. Beato deals. And a strike. Cadillac scoreboard 9-1. Yankees lead. Oh, 2.
Beato came over to the Red Sox, and that completed the deal with the New York Mets. Kelly Shopping went over to Flushing.
Ground ball to second. Siriaco. 1 away. Yankees broke this game open with the 9 runs in the second inning and the 4 home runs. And according to Elias, it's the 3rd time in Yankee history they hit 4 home runs in an inning. Other times, June 30th, 1977 at Toronto. And most recently, June 21st of 2005 against the Rays. Here's Russell Martin, who had one of those 4 home runs.
Said 2005, so you were right.
That was the one. Yeah.
That tied your record for Cia's in an inning. What a memory this guy has.
I really don't have it. Got the wrong guy. Count 1-1. But as I said, I only got 3 out because Russell Martin was gone. It wasn't a see you. All home runs are not alike. This one was in doubt until they had a review. Very Jeffrey Mayer-like.
A see you to be called later.
Two and two.
Meanwhile, every time Russell Martin hits a home run, it's a new career high. That's his 21st.
He's really come on the last month or so. And he strikes out looking. Talked to Joe Girardi about it, and you'll see him look at this breaking ball, and he said, you've got to be able to take the fact that you're hitting 195 and put it away and say, what can I do for the team? He said it takes really putting your ego on the shelf and saying, okay, what can I do for the team now? I know the season is shot in terms of putting up big numbers average-wise, and that's pretty much what he did.
Well, we just saw a shot of Joe Torre, and I can remember all the years with Jorge Posada when Jorge was putting up some pretty big numbers offensively. And Joe would say to Jorge after he hit a home run, nice job. Now go out there and call a good game. So that's the #1 job of a catcher: get his pitcher through a ball game. What offense you can add, and the Yankees have a long line of great hitting catchers.
They still remember Jorge here.
And with good reason. came up on the train this morning as they got to Penn Station. I walked out and there's a big, like, I don't know what to call it. It's like a mural, or it's a painting of Jorge Posada. An advertisement featuring him. Bigger than life. So Jorge is definitely remembered.
He left his mark on this franchise without a doubt. You know, I mean, there's only one Yogi Berra, Bill Dickey, Elston Howard. But for a long time, Posada, one of the great catchers, and he deserves to be in that category. And, of course, the great late Thurman Munson as well. But, you know, the Yankees have kind of been defined by their catcher's position over the generations. And Jorge belongs in that group of elite catchers in Yankee history.
To show you how elite Jorge is, the last time I came up on the train, it was Tom Brady. Now it's Jorge Posada.
High fly ball. Ross is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the fifth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We're going to the sixth. It looks like CC's going to be pitching.
Well, he's got 7 through 5 innings, and the thing about this slider is how late breaking it is, and down. A lot more up and down tilt to that slider. Even when it's up, it's quick. And let's go ahead and turn over a little changeup, too, to mix that in. But 6 out of the 7 strikeouts on nasty, downward breaking sliders.
Last 6 games, he struggled in the first 3 of those 6, and the last 3, 1-0, 1.29. And David mentioned this in the open. The thing that really jumps out: 28 strikeouts and 3 walks.
Well, one of those strikeouts was Siriaco, and he doesn't walk very often. 249 at bats, just 7 walks. And CC took advantage of that his last time up. Couldn't get him to chase a pitch off the plate. Threw it off the plate again, and then he did chase it. Struck himself out.
Line right field. Swisher makes a little leap to make the play. Latest update, Bob Lorenz has it. Tight game there in St. Pete. Bob's all over it. Jack's in the studio with him. Meredith Marakovitz will be working the clubhouse after the game, so stick around for the post-game show.
With Longoria still not running anywhere near normal there, as you saw him humping to score on that deep sacrifice fly.
Here's Daniel Nava, the only run against CC. Solo home run leading off the 4th inning. One 1-0.
Nava's done a pretty good job with the opportunity to play here. He's hit safely in 13 of 17. He's reached safely in each one of his last 8 starts now. Remember, some of these young Red Sox players, they're not just playing for this final end of the season here. They want to get some eyes open during the course of spring training, get a better shot.
Chavez across the diamond gets Nava for the first out. Well, check that, the second out.
Well, that's a great point, Kenny, because this Boston Red Sox organization literally pivoted on a dime with the huge trade they made with the Dodgers, which included obviously one of the best players in the game, Adrian Gonzalez, along with Josh Beckett. Well, that just sends the message that, hey, we go right into rebuilding mode. We cut off all that payroll and we're starting over. We hit the reset button.
Carl Crawford
As well, yes.
That's 3 big-time contracts they got rid of. So they are. Here's the deal. We got James Loney, Ruby De La Rosa, Jerry Sands, Ivan De Jesus, and Alan Webster.
Certainly one of the most remarkable trades in modern baseball history.
There's a ground ball to short. Jeter is there, and Cody Ross is out, and a 1-2-3 inning. So the Red Sox go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 9-1 Yankees, and now a business update from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Nine to 1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. All 9 runs came in the 2nd inning, an outburst of 8 hits and 4 home runs. And the Yankees have not looked back behind CC Sabathia. Ichiro takes outside from Beato. Count 1-0. Ichiro had a single in that inning.
And I guarantee you that Kansas City Visitors Clubhouse is filled with champagne on ice right now.
Hot shot right at Gomez. 1 out.
We've been through that, and it's a great feeling. Something you worked hard on the first day of spring training. You get to the point where you've clinched a playoff spot. Everybody can take a sigh of relief that you've gotten it done, and then you got to reach back for even more in the playoffs.
Here's A-Rod 0 for 2. He had a sac fly in that 2nd inning. He has not had an extra base hit in over 50 at-bats. And that RBI broke a string of 10 straight games without an RBI. And he's the only player in the lineup without a run scored. 59 at-bats without an extra base hit for A-Rod.
One thing about the Yankee lineup when it's whole, and tonight They got a pretty good representation in their lineup tonight. The team that they would want on the field during the course of the whole season if they could without all the injuries. It's hard to have all your guys hitting at one time. It's almost impossible. So if you got a lineup as deep, if you have a lineup as deep as the Yankees have, that means that somebody should be moving the team along and carrying the team for a period of time while these other guys are trying to get back going again. And when that person who's hot cools off, then somebody else picks up the slack. And I think that's one thing that's made the Yankees the run-scoring machine-type ball club that they are. When somebody's struggling like A-Rod is, you have somebody who's hitting pretty well.
A-Rod strikes out, and we go back to Bob Lorenz for another update. Bob. And remember, thank you, Bob, Tampa Bay has Fernando Rodney waiting, and David talked about the year Jim Johnson's had. Rodney's year, you just don't see seasons like this. And under 1 ERA, he's been unbelievable. So that'll be a tough comeback for the Orioles.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a rumble about how about Fernando Rodney for Cy Young.
He's been pretty special. Right. Here's Cano, 2 doubles and a home run. That home run, by the way, which went up against the glass in center field. They traveled 446 feet according to ESPN stats, and it's the second ball to hit that window above Monument Park. Russell Brandon, the only other one. He did that in 2009, July 2nd.
446?
446. Ooh. Now, I wonder if it had 15 feet more carry to it if the window wasn't there. Would it have gotten out of the old stadium at 461? It was on the sink when it hit the window.
How about this? Would it have gotten into the black seats at the old stadium?
I believe it would have.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, because it was 408.
Yeah.
That's the new black.
Yeah.
Well, Kenny Singleton was the first person to ever hit a ball on the black at the new old Yankee Stadium, or the old new Yankee Stadium. And here's the ball we're talking about off the glass with a kiss. Thank you, Bill Raftery.
Oh, is it basketball season already?
Coming close.
Yeah, isn't it?
Teams are reporting. Cano also, by the way, has 6 straight hits. Hits that one sharply. Ooh. Eats up Siriaco, but he stays with it, and that will do it. So Beato works a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. We're going to the 7th. Is CC coming out? Looks like he is. We're going to take it day by day. With 3 games left, the magic number is 4. Any combination of Yankee wins and Oriole losses get to that number. Now, the season series with the Orioles is tied at 9-9, and the Orioles have the better division record. So if the teams finish in a tie, there'll be a game to decide the division. And it's going to be played on Thursday at Camden Yards. Now, for those of you who've been inquiring about postseason tickets, all you have to do is go to Yankees.com/tickets for more information. Again, that's Yankees.com/tickets for more information. Cadillac scoreboard, 9-1, Yankees lead. 0-1 count on Moro Gomez. He has one of the 3 hits against Sabathia. 0-2. So CeCe at 79 pitches. So if both scores hold up, everybody, then the magic number will be down to 2 for the Yankees to clinch the American League East. Missed outside, 2-2 to Gomez. Gomez doubled to left center. That was in the second, and then struck out in the 4th.
See here Sabathia with 81 pitches, so still in great shape, and Girardi decides, yeah, let's just go ahead and see if we can get him through the 7th, just to make sure.
Now he wants to save as much bullpen as possible, because before the games, Joe made the decision to skip Ivan Nova. Ivan Nova's been taken out of the rotation. He will not start tomorrow. It's going to be David Phelps, and Phelps is going to be on an extraordinarily short leash against John Lester, so they might go to the bullpen for 6 innings. We're not sure, depending on how Phelps pitches. And the longer they keep Sabathia in there is the longer they can go with the bullpen. Now, tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America's ever seen. Lester's 9-14, 4.94. David Phelps, 4-4, 3.34. Coverage begins at 6 on Yes with the BP show. 6:30 with the pregame show, and 7:07 first pitch. A lot of people thought that if Nova started, the leash would be even shorter, and then they'd go to David Phelps. Now the question is, that one gets away from Martin. Gomez goes to second. The question then would be, would they go to Nova if Phelps goes short? And my guess is no, because Nova really hasn't worked out of the bullpen.
Well, I think it would be Derek Lowe.
Right.
Especially if Derek Lowe does not pitch tonight.
I think it'd be a lot to ask of Ivan Nova to warm up quickly,
yeah,
and get in that ball game in case there's an emergency early in the game.
Now, Lowe pitched well yesterday. He's actually pitched well of late. And also, if you skipped over Nova for the start, why would you feel comfortable with going to him if things get out of control early? As LeBarnway grounds to second and Gomez moves to third. So I don't think Nova's going to be involved unless it's a blowout one way or the other.
I think I agree completely with that. And, on the flip side of it, I think David Phelps has earned that start. I think he's done everything the Yankees have asked of him this year. I think Ivan Nova will figure it out. I think he still has a bright future, but right now it's too important to take a chance. And you have to follow your gut if you're Joe Girardi, and his gut tells him that David Phelps is the better option to try to win a game right now.
Pitch to Saltalamacchi is inside. Yankees, of course, have the infield back that give up a run. And they were in that situation in the second, and Saltalamacchi fouled out to Chavez. Didn't get it done. It would have taken a 1-0 lead. High fly ball, left center. That'll get a run in. Granderson makes the catch, tagging is Gomez. He'll score. It's a sac fly for Saltalamacchia. Yankees now lead 9-2.
Easily deep enough. And in Yankee Stadium, that's a can of corn. At Fenway Park, that's way over the Green Monster. Contrasting ballparks.
That's why years ago they were talking about a trade of Joe DiMaggio for Ted Williams. Short porch in right field as opposed to the Green Monster in left. I don't think it ever really got beyond the. I don't think it got too serious. Let's put it that way. There was rumblings.
Oh, it got serious over drinks. Then they sobered up. It was actually agreed upon that night. And then the two owners sobered up and decided we better not do this.
Oh, okay.
Cocktail napkin style.
All right. Did they talk to their general managers about the deal?
No.
No? It was a straight ownership deal.
Yep. Popped up. And out of play.
And we were talking about hitters striking out so much. 200 times in a season nowadays. Joe DiMaggio was a 7-time All-Star before he struck out 200 times in his career.
Just remarkable. It really is, And I did a little research before the game on that. Just curious, out of nowhere. Are there any players like Joe DiMaggio? No, of course not.
No.
Let me rephrase that. Any players that have walked more than they have struck out? That have the minimum amount of bats to qualify for a batting title.
That one is driven deep to left field off the bat of Valencia. In the corner is Ichiro, and he makes the play. And it would have been a fair ball according to the third base umpire, Gale Scott. So the Red Sox score a run. No hits, no errors, and nobody left on base at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch, and that was a stretch for Ichiro to make that play. But we're going to stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the world. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To the ocean
9-2, Mark Teixeira with a home run in his first game back since September 8th. And before the game, he talked about the condition his calf is in.
It feels okay. I mean, it feels good enough to play, and it feels a lot better than it did last time I tried to come back in Baltimore. So that's, that makes me feel good about it. Maybe he won't be stealing a lot of bases, maybe just 2 or 3 a game, but we'll just hope for the best.
So far, it's been pretty good. 1 for 2, that home run we spoke about, and he also walked. Cadillac scoreboard 9-2, Yankees lead. David, you had to finish up with some stuff about DiMaggio, right?
Yeah, I did. And gave you a little tease last inning, but it's kind of an interesting stat. I don't know exactly what it means. I think it's about bat control. It's kind of, Joe DiMaggio used to walk more than he ever struck out. As Kenny mentioned, it took him all those years to actually get 200 career strikeouts. Kind of interesting number to look at about how many guys, we're talking about the strikeouts. Adam Dunn striking out 200 times and Curtis Granderson strikeout total. And, in the American League, there's only one guy that has more walks than strikeouts. Joe Mauer, 87 walks and 86 strikeouts.
Only one player?
And Prince Fielder's close. He's 83 to 84 walks to strikeouts. In the National League, Jose Reyes, 62 walks and 56 strikeouts. And Chipper Jones, in his last year, the great Chipper Jones, 56 walks and 51 strikeouts.
A lot of times, some of those hitters are hitters that are so good they always seem to put the ball in play. So they don't walk much, they don't strike out much. Andrew Miller, tall lefty, warming up in the Boston bullpen.
Fly ball, fairly deep center field. Lynn drifts back and make the play.
You have to put a qualifier on it. Obviously, you want to have enough at-bats to where it means something. Not a guy with 100 or 200 at-bats that has those kind of numbers. Carlos Lee, also another one. 54 walks and 48 strikeouts and 600 at-bats. So just kind of an interesting number, but I think it just shows bat control. It shows somebody that's hard to strike out, but also, gets his share of walks.
One of the more fascinating, I wonder if you think it's as big a deal as I do, with DiMaggio, I've always wondered about this. He had 361 home runs and 369 strikeouts. Only 8 more strikeouts than home runs. And you look at Curtis Granderson, he has 41 strikeouts and 41 home runs and 192 strikeouts. So for him to have that power and not strike out, amazing. He's pretty good, I guess. 1-1.
Usually when you see the low strikeout guys, they put the ball in play early. They're not going to get their share of walks. You look at like Ichiro Suzuki, puts the ball in play more than anybody in the league, but doesn't really get that many walks. So, it's not DiMaggio-like in that sort of a comparison.
One thing I have heard, though, and I heard this recently, that there are more hard throwers in baseball. And, of course, when Joe DiMaggio was playing, they didn't change pitchers as often as they do now. In other words, he wasn't facing specialists. He wasn't facing a closer. Starters had a tendency to finish what they started. So I'm not saying that what he did was not extraordinary, because it certainly was. But it might have been a little easier to avoid striking out if you've seen a pitcher 3 or 4 times in one game, as opposed to seeing him twice. He's knocked out. Then you got to see 2, maybe 3 other guys.
And nowadays, all the hard throwers are in the bullpen, it seems like, or much more than it used to be.
So I think there are more hard throwers now. Each team seems to have guys coming out of the bullpen. Everybody's around 95 miles an hour or higher. So maybe just front office types, the general manager accepting, hey, we're going to strike out. The Yankees have set a team record for striking the opposition out this year. You have 2 teams in the league that have set their personal team records for striking out. I think the Rays are knocking at the door, and the A's have already done it.
3-2 count on Swisher. Nick is 2 for 3 tonight. Beato deals. That's served in the left field, a base hit. Nick's 3rd hit of the night.
During batting practice, Nick was working on hitting the ball to the opposite field. And it serves him well in this at-bat. looked like a slider or a curve that was headed for the outside corner. And Nick just followed it and slapped it to left field.
Well, Bobby Valentine's going to go to the bullpen, takes the ball from Beato, and asks for Miller. We'll be back. To 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Robinson Cano, number 2, Mark Teixeira, number 3, Curtis Granderson, and number 4, C.C. Sabathia. Vote now and make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply, and we'll take a look back at the second inning. It might help you vote.
Well, if you're thinking about distance, Cano's going to win. But just an impressive inning for the Yankees with the 4 home runs. And Cano actually later on had a 2-run double. So he's had a great night. There's Teixeira. Welcome back.
Andrew Miller delivers to Granderson, and that was looped into center field. And Lynn can't get there. It's a base hit. Swisher advances to second. Another update. Another trip to Bob Lorenzville. Amazing, amazing. He's leading or tied in all 3 categories for the Triple Crown. Not too bad.
Hits him to all parts of the ballpark, too.
Yeah,
how many times have we seen him stay inside the ball like that and drive it out of here the other way?
Miller deals up and in to Russell Martin. Miller, a decent year. 39 innings, 48 strikeouts. And a strike.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that home run Cabrera just hit. And David's correct that he hits him to all parts of the ballpark. That shows you he can hit multiple pitches out for home runs. That was up and out over the plate. If he's quick in, he'll pull you down the left field line, and he's got the power to go straight away center field. So you have to make just the slightest mistake, and he's going to hit the ball hard. It's almost like you're happy it's just a single.
The 2-2. Strike 3. Martin down looking.
We've seen sort of the high strike all night long being called, and there's a high slider. We've seen a couple of fastballs, almost at the letters called strikes. So, but it's been very consistent as you see this slider come across. Definitely between the belt and the letters. Certainly high strike zone on display tonight.
Have another one?
Right in on the hands of Chavez, count 0-2.
Chavez, there's CC, the beneficiary of a big outburst by the Yankees in the second inning. 9 runs in the second. They have not scored in any other inning. Scott Atchison warming up in the Red Sox bullpen. I was looking at Chavez's number. He doesn't have 300 at bats. He's got 16 home runs. He's done more than a credible job for the Yankees this year. Filling in for A-Rod when A-Rod was injured. Even sometimes when A-Rod's in there, Chavez will start at first base. He can be the designated hitter. Tonight, A-Rod's the DH. He's playing third. Very valuable signee by the Yankees, as it turned out. And Michael, I think you remember, it's towards the just before spring training started, the Yankees re-signed him.
Mm-hmm. It's the most home runs he's had since 2006. This guy was headed to a very special career before his body just started breaking down. And on those A's teams in the early 2000s, he was the one player that Billy Beane decided he was going to give a long-term contract to. 6 straight Gold Gloves at third base, power, leader in the clubhouse. The 1-2.
He drove in over 100 runs 4 times for the A's. And along with the Gold Glove fielding that Michael mentioned, that's how you get a long-term deal. Production on both sides of the ball.
It almost seemed as if Chavez was not going to play for anybody but the Yankees. He had such a good experience last year here. This is where he wanted to be. The Yankees kind of let him hang out there this offseason a little bit, trying to see how their roster was put together, and Chavez was there at the end. The Yankees are thankful that he still was.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Strike 3, Chavez down looking. So a good job by Andrew Miller. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We're going to the 8th. Is CC coming out for the 8th? He's up 9-2. part by Here Comes the Boom, in theaters October 12th, by J&R Music and Computer World, and by Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. The fourth train pulling into the station here.
Oh, look at a backdrop of Manhattan here, David.
Hyundai scoreboard 9-2. Yankees lead.
A city that never sleeps.
Chris Dickerson's in left field. The Yankees change defense. Skied the other way. Ichiro moves from left to right. And Nick Swisher moves from right to first. So Mark Teixeira gets the rest of the night off. So, David, let's be honest. They're not shortening CC at all. I mean, it's like a regular start.
I guess they must feel like the pitch count is there, and they don't want to take a chance. You know, every game's so important. And he's going to get his regular rest. So why not go ahead and just let him stay right where he is. Over his last two starts, he's been so good. Let's go ahead and let him get to the 100 pitch count. As you see, Cody Epley's up and backing him up right now.
Line drive, a base hit. So Lynn with a single.
Lynn with a couple of hits tonight. He's got 2 of the 4 hits for the Boston Red Sox.
And that'll bring up Jose Iglesias. Grounded to third. Chavez to second one. And that's all they get. (5-1) Tampa Bay over Baltimore. Kyle Farnsworth on in the top of the 9th inning. Not a save situation.
Sabathia right at the 100 pitch point. Been very efficient. 67 strikes and 32 balls.
Soft ground ball to second. Cano gets Siriaco for the second out as Iglesias moves to second.
CC Sabathia been so durable his entire career. This is really the first year that he's had any sort of trouble. You know, a little elbow trouble, missed a couple starts, a little leg problem earlier in the year. And then the concern came up. You know, he just quite wasn't the dominant Sabathia for a stretch there in August. Now, right at the end when they need him, as dominant as he's ever been.
And he'll deal with Nava.
I wasn't so much as concerned with the pulled groin as I was with the elbow. To me, that kind of, I began to think, you know, all the years and all the innings, are starting to wear down a bit. But in this day and age, I mean, if they're going to send you out there, he kept insisting he was okay.
That it was the first time he'd felt any problems in his elbow in his entire career. So that could be worrisome too as a pitcher. Incredible numbers in the pinstripes. Right behind Verlander too in the league. And actually, both leagues.
High fly ball right field. Ichiro drifts back, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 8th. No runs a hit, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 9-2 Yankees. So it's going to be interesting to see how they rebound, if they have anything left in the tank to try to make up the rest of the deficit. Well, Nunez is going to pinch hit, and Brett Gardner has a bat, so he will be batting for the first time since coming up the DL and having that elbow surgery. And Nunez swings and misses. Andrew Bailey. See his numbers. Spent a lot of the season, most of the season on the DL. Nunez with a high fly ball to right. And that ball falls untouched.
Bailey was injured way back in spring training as Gomez cannot come up with that foul ball off the bat of Nunez. Stands his at bat. But he had a thumb injury and he had to undergo surgery, and that kind of did bode well for the Red Sox, who were counting on Bailey to be their closer. So all of a sudden they had to go to plan B, and that was Aceves.
Popped up again, out of play. Hyundai scoreboard, 9-2 Yankees lead.
Early we saw a shot of David Ortiz. He hasn't played in a while. an Achilles injury. He tried to come back, and it was still bothering him, and then they shut him down. Big Papi hasn't played in a long time. He was having a good year. Nunez is one of those hitters. If he can reach it, he's hacking at it.
Grounded to third. Backhanded by Valencia. Off balance throw and a base hit for Nunez.
Nunez swung at 2 pitches out of the strike zone and got a hit out of it. The first one he fouled off, and the second one was down by his ankles, and he almost ripped a double down the third baseline. And Valencia comes up with it, but can't throw him out.
But Gardner gets a nice hand. He's taken BP. He's played in the field. He's pinch run, but this is the first time he's batting. So this 3-game set is going to be a real test case for whether or not they put him on the postseason roster. Fouled away.
The shame of it all for Gardner this year, he was off to a very good start. And not only was his overall average was .321, but he was rocking left-handed pitching. I think he was 6 for his first 7.
Orioles have 2 on and nobody out in the 9th inning, and they're down by 2. And Fernando Rodney is on, dealing to Jim Thome. Grounded off the glove of Bailey. And Siriaco guns down Gardner for the first out as Nunez moves to second. And now they will send up Melky Mesa for his first big league at bat, pinch hitting for Alex Rodriguez.
That in itself is something he can tell his grandkids. And I pinch hit for Alex Rodriguez.
And he can also tell his grandkids he took an RBI away from Alex Rodriguez when he stepped over third base in that classic extra inning win over the A's.
Oh, my goodness.
Between AA and AAA, Mesa connected for 23 home runs.
Yeah, that's not the swing of a slap hitter trying to hit it and run there. That's a long power type swing on that first hack. Tell him he's trying to let it go.
Here was his first big league game as a pinch runner. A-Rod gets the hit. And Melky on September 22nd misses the bag. Alex couldn't believe it. Story has a happy ending because the Yankees went on to win. But it'll be something he remembers. Ground ball through for a base hit. Nunez will score. Melky Mesa with his first big league hit, first big league RBI, and a big league smile.
And you can see Mick Kelleher saying, "Get that ball." I'll tell you what, he's been patient. He's been here for a while. Hanging slider. Celebrate, young man. Celebrate. Been thinking about that ever since you're about 4 or 5 years old. First time you ever swung a bat.
Solid.
Yeah.
Right back up the middle and an RBI to boot.
Cano fouls it off. Here's how the bench reacted. They've all been there. Touch the bag, not necessary. Cano, 0-2. 1 out now in St. Pete. 5-3 Tampa Bay leads. Jim Thome struck out. Mark Reynolds at the plate. Steve Donnie will mark that up and present it to Melky Mesa. Cano skies one deep to left. Nava back and make the play in front of the track for the second out.
Be hard to wipe that smile off his face. Some good-natured ribbing too from his teammates. There'll be some phone calls made tonight when he gets home.
He'll have some messages on his phone.
Chris Dickerson, who came in the top of the 8th inning, batting into Teixeira's spot, takes a strike. Now there were 2 outs in the 9th inning as Mark Reynolds just struck out. So the Orioles down to their final out with runners on first and second, trailing 5-3. Casey McGee on deck. He'll pinch hit for Swisher. Count 3-2.
Well, Mason's going to be going on this 3-2 pitch.
There he goes. Fouled away. Yankees lead 10-2. And the pitch. Fouled off again. Mesa will be going. And the payoff. Dickerson getting in his hats.
Mesa getting in his running. For all the inactivity on the bench.
Still smiling.
His feet are probably not touching the ground either. Has a major league batting average, the best you can have.
Three-two, swing and a miss. Dickerson down on strikes. First base hit, first ribby for Melky Mesa. We go to the 9th. Yankees up by 8. The magic number to clinch the American League East will be down to 2. And a combination of Yankee wins and Oriole losses totaling 2. And the Yankees win the East. So that means that even without the Orioles losing, if the Yankees win the next 2 games, they are the American League East champs. Freddie Garcia will try to get the final 3 outs here in the 9th inning.
Boy, Bob Lorenz can't leave the desk tonight at all, right? Just sit right there.
Yankees have some changes. Gardner's now on left. Dickerson moves to right. And McGee takes over at first base with Stewart behind the plate. Count 0-2. 10-2 Yankees lead. They have not looked back since they scored 9 in the 2nd inning and clubbed 4 home runs in that inning. For only the 3rd time in their history. Grounded to third, backing up Chavez. A long throw. And they get Ross for the first out. Well, after the final out, catch the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry will wrap up tonight's matchup in the Bronx and give you the latest on the developing playoff picture. Plus, Meredith Marakovitz will have the reaction from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Here's Gomez. Chavez hits another try. Another long throw, another out.
Well, it really couldn't have gone better for the Yankees. You know, getting Teixeira back and his booming home run. Get him back in the swing of things, feeling good about himself. Actually had Brett Gardner pinch hit. Getting that bat for the first time in a long time. And, of course, CC Sabathia continuing his dominance.
And the punctuation mark, Melky Mesa's first big league hit, RBI. Reason to smile, feeling that he contributed. Perfect. He's hitting 1,000 in the big leagues.
Count 0-2.
So John Flaherty's not the only one who got to hit his first time out.
When that sort of year for Bobby Valentine. His team's about to lose its 91st game. And they do. LeBarnway swings and misses. Garcia 1-2-3 ninth. And the Yankees have the home run bats out tonight, supporting CC Sabathia. Melky Mesa, his first big league hit. First big league RBI, and the Yankees with a 1-game lead in the American League East with 2 games left to play. The magic number is down to 2. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. Long home run by Robinson Cano. A couple of doubles thrown in there as well. And the whole game turned on a 9-run 2nd inning with 4 home runs by the Yankees. Only the 3rd time in their history 4 home runs in 1 inning. We have so much more to do. We'll give out an award. We'll get you set up for the postgame show with Lorenz and Curry and Marakovitz. Mesa still has that smile. That'll be there for a while. Yankees win this one easy.